And that is a good game.
Your punishment is my...
Hello YouTuber, welcome to this fine day. Today we are going to have a look at Ob Nixilis, the adversary in Historic Brawl. This deck aims to win by controlling the board with a Rakdos control shell, playing a bunch of planeswalkers, and eventually just pressuring the opponent's life total with the Ob Nixilis, the adversary's uptick. This deck doesn't aim to win by using the -7 for a bunch of card advantage or burning the opponent out depending who we target with this. This deck tries to have a bunch of recursive creatures along the lines of Sanitarium, Skeleton, and Persistent Specimen, creatures that can return themselves from the graveyard without any other cards, and then sacrificing these cards to Ob Nixilis, because we don't really care too much if he comes in with 5 loyalty or like 2 or 1. Because we're mostly using the uptick, and then if it's on 3 we can usually downtick, create a devil, then proceed to uptick again, right? Because a devil at the end of the day will also do 2 damage, because if it connects once and then it dies as well, then that's 2 damage to the opponent's face. The really strong part about Ob Nixilis, the adversary, is that he makes a matchup that we are usually weak against good for us, and that matchup is traditionally Azorius or blue-white control. Blue-white decks have access to a bunch of counterspells, and the main problem in those matchups were always we have a lot of dead cards against them, with cards like Fatal Push, like Creature Removal, right? Innocent Blood, those kinds of cards are usually not very effective against the blue-white control decks. But Ob Nixilis creates the second copy on the stack, so they actually need 2 counterspells to effectively deal with him. And then if they use 2 counterspells, then we just play him again, because our creature comes back from its own, like they can't really stop that. And then Ob Nixilis just sacrifices it again, and it's really not, you're very likely to stick this against blue-white control. We have a bunch of other planeswalkers, and that we just play for a ton of value. We have a bit of ramp, we have a lot of removal, we have board wipes. There is nothing too special here that you wouldn't expect from a classic Rakdos control shell. Overall, I think this deck will be a blast to play, and yeah. Let's jump right into some gameplay, and if you enjoy this content, consider liking the video or subscribing to the channel. Let's go. We are ready to play against Lord Xander. Grixis versus Rakdos control. This hand is actually pretty decent. We can ramp. We can play our Tibalt with a Tormentor pretty early on. And let's check their hand. And we are going for, if we cut down their mana, what are they actually going to do? Not much. Like the Ob Nixilis can't really get countered by Wash Away, well it can. But the problem is that this Duress, no, that isn't even turned on till like in 2 turns. And yeah, obviously it can take the Tibalt, right? But at the end of the day, we are just, like, if they duress us, then we can just stick an Ob Nixilis to the field. We put this on red, so if they don't take the Tibalt somehow, they don't take this Tibalt somehow, okay. Okay, we just let one of the Ob Nixilis get countered, I believe. Sure. Casualty. And this is what I mean with this deck is really obnoxious to deal with. Also, they should let this trigger resolve and counter the copy, not the original, otherwise I'm getting that one back. Because now I have the copy in the field. Yes, that has less loyalty. Yeah, sure, I would put that to the command zone. Yes, that has less loyalty, but now this is a non-legendary token, so next time we play Ob Nixilis, we have 3 planeswalkers on the field. Duress taking the Tibalt, I assume. And what we are going to do is we're going to Lightning Bolt the Shambling Ghast in their end step. So bring this back. We check for traps, take something out of their hand, because I don't want them to have this treasure. Oh yeah, take their mana away basically. And end the turn. And we let this Ob Nixilis get hit here, but we're just, yeah, they surrender, because we just want to limit their mana, and if we draw one land here, then we can Gutterbones Ob Nixilis again, and we just keep upticking, and that is a lot of damage coming the way. GG. We are ready to play against Chandra, and this doesn't have any red is the problem. But interesting. If this had like one red, then this would have been a really fine hand, but I think we have to mold this. Yeah, this is way better. These recursive creatures are also really annoying for Chandra to deal with. So I'm just going recursive skeleton, silver smoke ghoul, and then turn 4 just... I just keep upticking Ob Nixilis in this matchup. The reason for that is that I... like their removal is damage based, so if I just keep upticking, they have a hard time removing him. Okay, conduct. That is pretty good. Yeah, let's just play the den, and in the end step I'm returning the skeleton, or just using the soul shatter to deal with the
You wanna play with fire, huh?
Chandra. Sure, 2 mana.
Today's my lucky day.
Young Pyro. Okay. Goodbye, Chandra. And now I can reassembling skeleton. Bring that back. Sacrifice it with Ob Nixilis. Boom. And the copy will uptick, right? But I don't want to uptick it until I create the devil, so I gain the 2 life. So I don't even know if I want to do that. Now let's just downtick to pressure this young pyromancer. And next turn Chandra Awakened Inferno comes down, and that's going to be annoying for them. And I just keep upticking that. I really want to pressure the life total. They killed the copy.
My empire crumbles.
Okay. Yep, that happens. Sure.
Well, now.
And I can just decline this trigger and bring this back with Blood in the Snow, because I minus this. This is an elemental and that just doesn't work. Right? Maybe I want to bring back the Silver Smoke Ghoul though. No, I wanna bring back Silver Smoke. Yeah, I think I want to bring back Silver Smoke. I put this into the command zone. So let's swing in. Deal 1 additional damage. They actually block this? Wow, that's interesting. Then I'm killing this. Change of plans. Chandra. And keep plussing. And they surrender. GG. We are ready to play against Falco Sparrow. Yeah, I think Sweltering Suns and Languish will come in handy in this matchup. I have 1 more draw, because I go second. So I am likely to find my lands. Yeah, good. Good hand. I think I wanna drop the Sulphurous Mighty on turn 1, because I don't really care if I swing in with this or not. And if I draw something like a lightning bolt, then I want to play that with the specimen here. Okay. Let's see. That happens, sure. Play the specimen. And your go opponent. Narset Power Tower fails. Don't care too much about that, because we actually don't draw that many cards. I'm going to take that time, swing it at 1. Narset.
Much commotion.
And now I have 2 Ob Nixilis. On turn 3. Going to minus the first one.
I don't need respect.
Plus the second
Just
one,
go
gain 2 life.
Shake down the locals. Defy me.
And next turn I can, if nothing,
Everything.
like if I don't draw land, I can sign in blood. If the Narset down ticks. If it doesn't, I obviously can't. Teferi who slows the sunset. Okay. Minus. This is a Planeswalker matchup, I see. I really want to draw an additional land here. Otherwise, I mean, the Persistent Specimen can do its job. Oh, perfect. They don't take the Narset. So I think I do want to sign in blood first. Oh, that actually... I mean, that's not a land, right? But that kills the...
By coin or carnage. Tribute.
That kills the Teferi, which is pretty great.
It's only a matter of time.
And you can see how we're starting to pressure the life totem. Missing a land drop, though, is really, really bad. Can't deny that. But, we can actually just exile the Falco Sparrow with a Baleful Mastery. Yeah, that's exactly what we're going to do. We can let them... So they have a lot of cards in hand, so I don't really care if they draw an additional card, I think. So basically what I'm thinking right now is, do I want to Baleful Mastery for 4? Or do I want to Baleful Mastery for 2, let them draw a card, and then only one of these cards is going to be really relevant, like they can only play one of these cards anyways? Or like maybe 2, so they can't play all of them, and then I just take their best card with Agonizing Remorse. Before anything else happens though, I think I'm going to attack, because if they block this with Falco Sparrow, yep, they don't, because they want to keep their shield counter, then I could have just Chandra at minus, and I think that would have been fine as well. But now I think I'm inclined to actually let them draw a card. Sure, exile this, and now I'm checking their hand with Agonizing Remorse. And after that, I can make my decisions on what to do with Ob Nixilis. I actually do not care for most of these cards, Time Wipe either. I actually think the Aether Gust will be the most important card here that I want to take. And I just keep upticking, right? Because, like, if they draw land, what are they going to do? Time Wipe or Dovin's Veto plus? They need to draw the green source, otherwise they can't settle anyways. And they have this tapped. Nah, okay, they're just surrendering. Okay, apparently took them too long, but this is a nice thought experiment. If I think they're going to play the Time Wipe, then actually just plussing those Ob Nixilis instead of minusing was better. Because that was 1 damage from the Devil's opposed to the 2, and then we still have the ability to minus and rebuild afterwards. I think I would have just plussed both of these. GG though, you can see how oppressive this is against other control decks. We are ready to play against Xander. And lots of black cards, no black mana, free mulligan. I guess I can cycle this. I'm not too happy about this, but I'm... Like, this doesn't have any relevant cards in the matchup, right? Oh yeah, let's mulligan again. Oh yeah, that's much better. Yep, that's exactly what I was looking for, basically. And I don't think I will need... What are these creatures? If I go... this... maybe one of these creatures, but I don't know how many. Like, I don't know how many creatures they run, so I want to keep this Heartless Act. This Dark Ritual allows me for a turn 2 Ob Nixilis if I go turn 1 Unwilling Ingredient. So that's why I'm shipping this Augur. I can even play this Blood Crypt tapped. If I top deck a Dark Ritual, I might Thoughtseize, I might still want to use the mana. So that's why, like, I'm going to shock myself. The 2 life is probably not going to matter. I might even have a counterspell here. I mean, we already established that we're still good against counterspells. Okay, resolves. Minus.
I'm not afraid of
Plus.
Go sow some
We were kind of out of cards here, to be honest. We want to draw 1 additional land so we can exile this Unwilling Ingredient, draw a card. And I think then we're just in a great spot overall. Dark Ritual themselves for a creature? Key to the Archive, okay, I see. I wish I had that Destroy Artifact, the thing from earlier. Can't even remember. Angrath Rampage. That would be a great top deck here. Oh, that is also a decent one. Can actually
punishment is my entertainment.
F5 mana next turn. That's pretty good. Yeah, I can hold up Heartless Act, I can draw a card with ingredient, hopefully draw land for this Chandra, start up taking like even more burning. That's pretty great. They're taking a ton of damage here. Yeah, sure. A bit of damage to your face, and I will draw a card. Yep. Ooh, for Agonizing Remorse is a good one, but you know, Chandra is just better. This uptick.
You work for me now, runt. Your punishment is my entertainment.
Chandra, and next turn I can just plus Ugin, plus Chandra, drop an Ugin, remove a problematic non-creature permanent, otherwise just Heartless Act, burn them for more and more damage here. This is going to be really problematic for them. Ooh, that's a good one. Let's swing in first. How do we do this? I think we always uptick this, right?
By coin or carnage. Tribute is
Do we need the
owed.
mana? Yeah, let's just plus a mana. Ugin. A plus. This doesn't have a color, otherwise I would have destroyed this. Plus.
Defy me, and you.
And I'm not minusing, like, because if they have a board wipe, I can rebuild with the minus again. And at the end of the day, it's 2 damage. Like, takes 2 more turns. That to be relevant. Okay, they have that. They can minus. That's fine. But it doesn't even matter if they like kill the Chandra here. Well, it kind of matters, but they are still in a lot of trouble here. Plus.
By coin or carnage. Tribute is owed.
Plus. Yep. We swing in at their face.
Doing business with
And we can big score, discard Heartless Act. Sadly, those were mountains. Sacrifice a creature. Yep, discard you. Go face. Yeah, and now that's just so oppressive. Like, yeah, just. Yep, they don't really have a chance. Yeah, I'm going to discard this, and plus we can also plus Chandra, and that is a good game.
Your punishment is my entertainment.
Wait, what happened? Unless they discard a card? What? Oh, they... Okay, this got discarded. I was so confused because I thought it was in their hand still. Okay. Never mind. Good game. We are ready to play against Jackmere. And... no black mana, otherwise I would have kept this. For sure, like, one of these cards here would have been black mana, then just turn 1 ingredient. Turn 2 like Rampage, turn 3 Ob Nixilis, but it does work out the way I wanted to. Interesting. Again though, it doesn't work out the way I wanted to. That's fine. Do I need to check for traps? I think a Valky is going to do a better job than check for traps. We need this Deadly Dispute though. Turn 2 Valky, turn 3 Deadly Dispute, turn 4 Lolth is a play that I can do. I think I'm just going to do it like that. Ooh, good draw. Really, really good draw. Because now I can play Ob Nixilis on 3 while sacking a creature. Because I don't really want to draw, sack the Valky. Like, Valky is mostly here for the backside, Tibalt, Cosmic Imposter, right? But, in some matchups, I just wanna, like, look at their hand and get something out of there. But I think I'm going to use the check for traps here for now. The Satyr's Cunning. Kind of want that to get exiled, honestly. And then I'm just going to take the Tubular Huntmaster with the Valky God of Ice and later transform into that. Yeah, I don't want to get attacked here. I think my 1 life is going to be more impactful than their 1 life. Jackmere coming out, yep. Then next turn they can just, I can theory play this Tubular Huntmaster, I think. Oh no, they can't, they don't have this on the field. But, and now just Valky grabbing the Huntmaster. Then I'm going to have a turn 4 Lolth, and then hopefully a turn 5 transformation of this into a Tubular Huntmaster, and then I'm beating them on the board, which honestly seems pretty great. Yeah, I'm going to take all the damage right now because I want my creatures to protect my Lolth Spider Queen. They don't gain trample until, yeah, they need 3 more creatures. Yep, no blocks. I'm taking the 6 now. Okay. And there's a Hero's Downfall, but I still think I'm just supposed to Lolth. Minus pass turn. And next turn I can Lolth plus, well, not 0, draw a card. And then, transform Valky. I think I'm just fine trading 2 of these for the Jackmere. They're doing this because they can just recast Jackmere here, right? But this just gives me the tempo. Like, if these are cards that they might want to play, then this still just gives me tempo, which is great.
In exchange for loyalty.
And this Lolth is going to die, I think. Oh yeah. Anyways. I'm going to do this now. So it transforms. So now it's Daybound, and I'm not going to cast a card here. And their creatures are going to get Trample, Indestructible, whatnot. Yeah, I think I'm just going to sacrifice this Lolth.
All of my will cannot be denied.
Yeah, this is going to hurt. But I have the Hero's Downfall, and it's going to be beautiful. Yep. 5. Yep. We're doing this. Take the rest. This... Oh, this doesn't have a backside, so it's Knight, but it doesn't have a backside. That's fine though. I think I still wanna... Do they get that creature back? No, they don't. No, yes they do, right? So I want to... Ob Nixilis. I don't want to attack with that yet. And I think I'm supposed to just sacrifice the specimen here. As I can bring that back, but I also have the Hero's Downfall ready to deal with the Jetmir. And now I can just keep gaining life, be on defense. The Gilded Goose getting 3 life per turn is actually pretty relevant here. Sacrifice that, sure. Just keep up the downfall. And if they attack with Jetmir and what other creatures, I can just... Sure, that's fine. Yep. And I think I'm pretty much always just going to want to Hero's Downfall that. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, sacrifice this. This doesn't have trample, right? And you go here. Yep. And Hero's Downfall you as well for sure. Now Jetmir dies. I deal more damage to them. And... Ooh, that's a Tibalt. Yeah, you're right on time, buddy. So I can plus. Draft a Devil, that's the only one I can actually cast. And now I can plus these, and I have a Devil in play again, so I get more and more life.
And you lose everything.
And swing for 6, pressure them, and that is pretty brutal now. That is pretty brutal. I think they're just going to cast their commander again? No. They even have enough mana. No, they don't. Bone shards. Put this into graveyard, take 1 damage, I assume. Otherwise I can just, like, specimen, sacrifice that. Yeah. That's reasonable. Let's draft another devil, shall we? Yeah. Let's do this. Boom, land. You. Devil. And then I return an instant sorcery at random from my graveyard to my hand at my upkeep. I'm just going to keep plussing these. So if I minus this, then it dies to the goose, and I don't want that to happen. Yep. Swing. And that is just... It's just so much value, so much pressure. And I don't think they will keep up with that. Also, we didn't have lethal here. They had the option of like gaining life with goose and whatnot, but like I didn't miss lethal with the Den of the Bugbear. They just chose to take the damage. GG. We are done with the games. I hope you enjoyed them as much as I did. And Ob Nixilis the Adversary is clearly a very, very strong commander in Historic Brawl right now. I've seen plenty of people with completely different builds. Rakdos mid-range, then I saw somebody with Rakdos aggro. Some people tried to just sacrifice the biggest creature to ult him immediately. I personally feel like this is the best way to build him right now. That's why I've built this deck the way it is. But I am ready to be called out, and yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if there are like other completely different really cool builds for Ob Nixilis. overall, this deck has basically just exceeded my expectations. It is really, really strong. And if you want to build it on a budget, what can you cut? What do you need? So if we look at the rares and mythics, quite a few. And this deck isn't going to be super cheap. Usually I recommend crafting lands, and I always recommend crafting lands, but for this specific deck, I mean, if you're really on a tight budget, you can just play like a couple of common and uncommon dual lands, but you don't need them. Obviously, Phyrexian Tower can make really disgusting lines of play in this deck, right? Obviously, having a Den of the Bugbear or Sokensa and Crucible of Defiance that can make a token to stick around to sacrifice for another Ob Nixilis is going to be relevant, right? Obviously, but you don't need them to play the deck necessarily. What you do need to play this deck, however, are the recursive creatures. That is a very important engine, so something like a Gutterbones. And Squee the Immortal, we haven't seen him pop off in these games, but he is extremely potent in long and grindy control matchups. You really can't get rid of this guy. He is really annoying. And also has 2 power, so Ob Nixilis copy comes on with 2 loyalty instead of 1 sometimes, so that can be pretty relevant. Cards that you also want in this deck are the Planeswalkers. You don't need all of them, right? And again, Valky, God of Lies is a flexible card that is mainly here for the backside, but you can see, like, as you saw in the games, the front side can also be quite relevant, actually. You usually use the front side against creature matchups where you otherwise get out-tempoed, you take that threat, you later transform it. Overall, pretty good. But we have a bunch of Planeswalkers in the deck, I think 9 in total if you count the Valky. You want some of them, you don't need all of them. Like, if you're missing a Ugin the Ineffable, yeah, you miss one, right? If you miss a Tibalt, Wicked Tormentor, like, it's a critical mass and that you want, kinda, but at the end of the day, if you miss 1 or 2, it's not too bad, but you want some of them, so craft the ones that you wanted to have anyways. You want some amount of board wipes. You don't need these board wipes, but you do want like 4 or 5 board wipes for just to have one if you need them in a certain matchup. Like if you're like going against a go white token deck, you want a board wipe just, you know, to have one. You want the cheap interaction overall. Honestly, Dark Ritual is not something you really need in this deck, and Mox Amber is not something you really need in this deck. But like just having these cheap interactive spells that kill things and interact with the opponent before Ob Nixilis comes down, that is the important part. You'll only have like 2 mana in total, or like sometimes 1 mana, to, if you want to cast Ob Nixilis on curve, to interact with the opponent, right? Because let's say I have a Clattering Augur ready and I'm Ob Nixilis. So my turn 1 is probably dedicated to interacting with the opponent, and that way I guarantee that Ob Nixilis gets played on a relatively empty board. Removal there, like a decent amount of good removal spells in black, like spot removal, like I'm talking Bedevils, I'm talking Murderous Riders, Soul Shatters, right? There are a couple of them that you can just play, right? And they are going to be almost as good as something like a Bedevil, but notice that Bedevil here is basically another copy of Hero's Downfall because it removes Planeswalkers and there are not many sources. Like that's going to be the weak point. If you go to budget, you have a lot of ways to actually kill creatures, but you don't have that many ways to kill Planeswalkers, and that is going to be the difference there. Overall, the deck is pretty strong. I really enjoyed it, and if you did so as well, consider liking the video, and I will see you in the next video. So, goodbye.